Phase 1 of Dungeon Master Doom's master plan is now complete. Yes, my homebrew game, the first draft, is done. And I've already been playing around with it. It's as thick as my thumb. It's such a satisfying feeling to have accomplished it this far, and I've even had time to start adding illustrations that I've drawn. And this isn't going to be the layout of the book. I just slapped it together. I want to have borders and stuff like they did in the old Warhammer 40k books or the World of Darkness books. I like the layout of Wraith the Oblivion. I might make it look something like that. Here is a dwarf. He's very broad and muscular, and he has no neck. I wanted to make my dwarves a little less human. Not like a person dressed up as a dwarf, but the dwarf actually has characteristics that are different than humans. I actually based his proportions off of Ram Man from the old cartoon He-Man. Yes. So, Phase 1 is done. And it's an OGL game, a D20 system, compatible with Dungeons & Dragons 3rd Edition, and a Pathfinder. And what I did, now I'm tinkering with games, it is always hard to know when to stop. And when I still want to do lots of things and tinker with this system in so many ways. It's just lots of fun for me. It's the kind of fun Dungeon Master Doom has. So, it's practically the same game as Dungeons & Dragons and Pathfinder. You don't have to change the statistics of your characters if you want to play it. But what makes it unique is it doesn't use the battle grid or minis anymore. So you can just keep your minis on your shelf of books like I do because they're fun to look at. But in this game, you imagine all of the battle. All of the combat happens within the theater of the mind. And I was able to emulate just about everything. All the crunch. I do like all the crunchy bits of the D20 system. And I emulated combat maneuvers and range and attack of opportunity. All of that. All the crunchy tactical bits are working just fine. Except for flanking. I wasn't able to figure out how to emulate flanking. Although I do still have backstabs in there. But I'm very happy with the game so far. I'm not quite ready to publish it on the internet, but I will. I'll make it available for anyone to look at. I'm not going to sell it or anything. But I am looking into drive-through RPG. They do have a feature where you can put your games up for free, but you also have to sell things on their page. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I would like to have stuff up on their website. I might make adventures to sell or something and put the game for free, because there's no point in paying for a game that is practically... It's free on the internet anyway. The game lends itself to theater of the mind combat systems, but if you've never played Pathfinder or D&D without a battle grid, I have a system for doing it. So it's one way to make a confusing, bloody battle more manageable, and you can do more things when you imagine it and move around. You think about tactics and strategy in a very different way, and it can be fun. It's something worth trying if you never have. So that was the main thing. I just tinkered with that, and it did have rippling effects, and I had to change feats around and things like that. But I think I have all my bases covered. That, and it also has I wasn't as concerned with mathematics at first, because when designing a game, you want to think of how is the game going to feel, and I really wanted to emulate the medieval battles. You know, you watch movies like Braveheart or something, and you just imagine the foot soldiers charging at each other and engaging in this fierce, bloody battle. And I wanted to have that feeling of armies clashing, and with feats or combat maneuvers like overrun, you can push through a battle and find the boss and fight the boss as the other foot soldiers are fighting around you, and I have all the mechanics in there are emulating all that feeling of battle. So I'm really happy with it. And the way I did it was I deconstructed 3rd edition to 2nd edition. 2nd edition was very theater of the mind, combat structured. And so I took a lot of those ideas and then I started tweaking stuff so I could have the crunch in there. So you could still have all of the tactical opportunities available when you use a battle map and miniatures. So, yes, it's very satisfying. Everything else that I've changed has been fluff. The ability scores, I did mess around with the ability scores a little bit, because I wanted. Actually, no, I didn't. I left them alone. I left most things alone. Let me move my orb. Okay. So, ability scores are the same. With races, I have my own. I've been doing my own world building, so I have my own origins of dwarves and elves and humans, and that might be fun to read. Maybe it would give you ideas for your adventures and ways to make your own game world unique. Classes, I changed things around. I always liked how rogues were once thieves, but I also like how they are specialists in games like Lamentations of the Flame Princess. So I changed it to specialist, little things like that. Oh, I have a unique coin system, which is more practical because gold is extremely heavy. So I did it more of a Roman system. I always go back to Rome when doing fantasy things. So they had a copper, brass, and silver system. Although gold coins do still exist, they're just heavy. And electrum is actually cheaper than gold because it's a natural alloy of silver and gold. So it's those little details that always bother me. So I have the new torch rules and all that stuff. You've seen my older videos where I talk about torches and swimming rules. my controversial swimming rules. Yeah, I did change. I played around with skills, and this is a basic game, so I didn't. You won't be. Well, it's a PDF, so if you do decide to print it, you won't be just reprinting everything that's in Pathfinder. I did it as a basic game, so it's these most used skills, and skills mostly affected by the theater of the mind combat system. every skill and feat that was affected by the new combat system was put in here. I also have evasion and pursuit rules, which are compatible with my new combat rules. Spellcasting, I added a lot of fluff to. Conditions, I don't think I had to change anything. Not that I remember. And then I also added critical hits and wounds, so you can get your head cut off. But it's rare. It doesn't happen all the time. It doesn't happen on a natural 20 where you roll to see if you get your head cut off. That would just... your characters would come out maimed all the time. But if you're knocked down to 0 hit points, you could die instantly or suffer a horrible injury, or you might not even be harmed at all. And the critical hits also happen if you take massive damage of 50 damage points at once or more. So that's nothing new. But doing critical hits when you reach 0 hit points adds a little more lethality to the game. So you can have you can have broken bones and stuff. So I changed the rules. So like if one of your bones are broken and you're knocked below, you're knocked down to 0 or below hit points. If you're like cured or something, you still have broken bones, but you have your hit points back. So I'm liking the way it's working. Although I just got Dungeon Crawl Classics and I saw their critical hit tables and they are way better than mine. So I'm gonna have to go back and revamp it and Franken game lots of their ideas. I'm not gonna make it as complex as theirs. I'm making it nice and simple, so it's a manageable game. Because the main thing I wanted to do is just illustrate it and do the graphic design and actually have accomplished creating a book. So it's coming along. I just created a Facebook page. I had to use a fake name because they won't accept real names like Dungeon Master Doom. So I fooled them by using the name Paul Allen. And Facebook didn't know the wiser that it was actually Dungeon Master Doom. And Dungeon Master Doom is my job title, and they did allow me to use my real profession, which is a wizard. So, and you'll also recognize me by my beautiful face. What mother could not love a face like this? So, I'll put a link to my Facebook page that I just created here. It's desolate. I've only added a little bit to it. I'm not active on it yet, really. I've just been uploading sketches that I've been doing for the book there and collecting them. I haven't added the wallpaper and all that stuff. I'll figure it out later. I do want to get more involved in the RPG brigade on Facebook, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'll eventually do it. So yeah, I'll probably start finding everyone who's subscribed to this channel on Facebook. My Facebook is just for role-playing games, so I'm just going to have people that I've met on YouTube on the Facebook, so I can explore the RPG group page. Yeah. Computers! more stuff to do. Then I'll have to figure out the Google Plus thing so I could start getting involved in the online gaming. So, well, that's that. Yes. So yeah, if you want to see, I post all the sketches that I do. Oh, it's coming up to 15 minutes. I'm out of here. Wow.